Hi, I just thought I wanted to share something very crucial and very confusing to most people and very radical in this First Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34 to 38. The women should keep silent in the churches. Oh, this is tough, right? There are churches that we have women preachers as well. But Paul is saying here, women should keep quiet, to be silent. Now, for they are not permitted, you see, the women should keep silent in the churches, for they are not permitted to speak, but should be in submission. As the law also says, if there's anything they desire to learn, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is shameful for a woman to speak in church. This is so confusing and is so unpopular among the liberal world and in the modern day world today, and churches struggle with this. So I've just done my Pauline epistles by Dr. Zach Cole, which is one of these really one of the best professors I've come across in the RTS. Really, it's a tremendously helpful. And his notes, he expounded it that way. And I think I checked with NIV. Don Carson's commentary almost say the same thing, but it is interesting. Now let me just sort of put them together and put my view onto it, which is we're just following what they do. I think that's the best explanation. Women should keep silent in the churches, for they're not permitted to speak. You cannot stop there. They are not permitted to speak in churches. Now, you got to read the next part of the verse, as the law, but should be in submission. Okay. The reason Paul says they should be silent and keep quiet is because of the submission issues. The issue here is not that there are women that can't speak in church. That would not be biblical. But what Paul is saying that because of the submission issues. Now, if you read it again, there's verse 34, right? Now, verse 35 says, if there's anything they desire to learn, let them ask their husbands at home. For it is shameful for a woman to speak in church. It is very confusing. So three things you got to sort of combine, put together. That's really biblical theology. First, women should keep silent in churches. Why? Because it's a submission issue. So this submission issue is about what submission now? That submission issue is about submission to the husbands. Why? Because verse 35, that right after that, the following verse, Paul writes in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, if there's anything they desire to learn, let them ask their husbands at home. For it is shameful for a woman to speak in church. What is he saying? So the submission issue is submission to the husband. That's the thing. And he says that if you have anything, if the woman has anything if there's anything they desire to learn, let them ask their husbands at home. Talk to the husband. Don't talk in the church. Speak up for the women. It's crazy idea, right? Crazy theology, if you look at it on its own here. But if you look at the same chapter, verse 26 then, okay? What then, brothers, when you come together, each one has a hymn, a lesson, a revelation, a tongue or an interpretation. Let all things done for building up or edification. If anyone speak in tongue, let there be two or three, blah, 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 blah. If any three prophets, let them take one by one. And God is not confusion, but of peace. And then he says, as in all the churches, the woman should keep silent. So the woman should keep silent. It doesn't come out of nowhere. The woman should keep silent in churches comes from the context of Paul writing about worship order. That if you prophesy one by one, not rushing to everybody doing things together. If you speak in tongues, not everybody rushing to it, but if you speak in tongues, you must have interpretation, or else shut up, don't speak. So all this is in the context of order worship, not confusion. So Paul is also saying the women should not speak to cause confusion. So my professor is saying it's most likely that women should keep silent when the husband is prophesying or talking or speaking. The man's wife listening in the church should not stand up and question question the husband's prophecy or sharing or whatever the case may be. If the wife has question about what the husband shared in the church, then the wife should ask her husband at home. There's verse 35, right? Verse 35 says, if there's anything they desire to learn, let them ask their husbands at home. Don't ask in church. I think that's the best way to explain it. A very simplistic, simple way, but a lot of commentaries all say the same thing. Okay, so this is a lot of work. I just summarize it. This is not I did not think of it, but I find this totally captivating and really liberating. Right now you have churches that the women preach even. Here, Paul seems to be saying, women are supposed to be keep quiet, to keep quiet in church. That keep quiet in the context of submission to the husband. And also, by the way, 1 Corinthians 14, if you go before 11, 12, 13, that whole lot of Corinthian letters by Paul talks about wife submits to the husband love your wife. So all these are jiving together. That's a context. So women, you can speak in church, obviously, definitely, but only in the context. But women should not publicly question or rebut her husband when husband is speaking in church. That's what it means. So I think we settled that. As far as preaching by the woman in the church, that's called complementarianism and a whole lot of things. That's another huge topic on its own, which I personally believe. Preaching should be the jurisdiction of the man of God. But women to teach in the smaller groups, Sunday school, etc. Okay, so that will be a separate topic, but I'm just talking about 1 Corinthians chapter 14 about this, so that we will be able to maintain church order. That's what it means. And Paul is arguing the maintaining church order in the sense of what do you call submission? Show submission. That's all. All right. God bless you.